Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, Hadley Country Club, that looks like they've requested a continuance.
Yes.
We have no RDAs tonight.
Correct.
Wow.
I make a motion to continue to have the country club to February 21st.
Is that a good time?
Oh, 6:50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Millennium Maintenance and Power Sweeping / Ross, the intersection of Route 3A and Manlock Road, response to release. Is anybody here for that?
He was delayed in traffic, but he's en route,
All
so.
right, so we'll just open that in a bit. So now,
Read a stop on that stuff.
Frank, we could take the certificate of compliance for Drew,
okay.
32R.
It's actually not on yours. I got to add it. I should have read that into this. You see it.
Oh, it's on mine. I'm just special. I guess I got it. Hey.
Always know you're special.
Hey, that's right.
So it's a certificate of compliance for Drew at 32R, formerly 42 Driftway. So this is a property that's down in back of Dunkin' Donuts off the Driftway.
Okay, it's the Queen property, right?
It's the what?
The Queen property behind Dunkin' Donuts, straight down from Dunkin' Donuts.
You go,
Down that road.
there's a long driveway and it goes
Yeah.
all the way back and there's some contractor yards
Yes.
and buildings.
Yes.
So that's
So
been
this-
built a long time ago.
Right, in fact, this order is from a long time ago, number 68464, so it's from 1986.
Okay.
And it expired in 1990. There were other orders after this order, so I think that this is just really an administrative
Just something that got
recommendation to
overlooked.
close it out. It's in the middle of a property sale, so I think it came up in the title.
I see two attorneys here, so it must be important.
I mean, you know, it's a contractor's yard, it's surrounded by salt marsh. If they want to do anything, they'll be filing with us.
If the new
But-
owners want to do something.
Yeah, I mean, there were enforcement orders in the past out here, but this, again, I think this is just administratively, we need to close this.
Yeah. And it was a contractor's yard actually before that was built. It was the fellow that built this, stepfather had a contractor's yard there for 50 years before that. I mean, it's sort of been the MO of that piece of property for a long time.
It hasn't changed.
Well, it was covered with snow today, so I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard to say, but,
I think there's like a little bit of a buffer around the back of the buildings that's vegetated, some cedar trees and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yes, there are. Yeah.
I think there's a single-family home on the property, too.
Okay.
Or an
Yeah, when I've
apartment,
been out
maybe.
there, Frank, there are
At
cedars,
least.
you're right,
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah,
That abuts the railroad bed.
It
on
does,
the
I
other
saw
side.
that.
We have a trail that goes down as far as the Herringbrook
Yes.
on that side.
right, and so they abut is it Totman? Is that?
Well, there's a strip,
That's
so the
not-
railroad track is a strip between that and the Topman, there's the Russo mitigation for the train, which
Okay,
is a marsh replacement. And then, I don't know, the driveway that goes into this property abuts the Topman piece, but I'm not sure the yards really.
yeah, I just saw the sign.
Yeah,
So, but I know that they store school buses down there, and,
on the
that-
Topman side.
yes, that property looks,
We've
that's
got,
the enforcement
we've
site,
got
right?
discussions,
Yes,
yeah.
we have.
Yeah,
Well,
But we don't have any enforcements or outstanding things on this piece of property, I don't think.
not anything current.
Right. Okay. All right, so you got a chance to take a look.
I did, and we received the request from Attorney Orenberger, and with a statement from the engineer saying that it was done in compliance, substantial compliance with the order as
You have a
written.
letter then?
Yep,
Okay.
But again, it's back quite a long time ago.
Right. Yeah, this is, and those buildings have been there almost 30 years. Or over 30 years.
Frank's the tribe historian.
30 years isn't that long ago.
For some of us, it isn't, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, that was
They'll
just,
probably need a roof.
oh, Lord.
The
So you
COs are something you can issue if everybody feels that they're.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't even, it's not even a vote.
No.
It's not.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just catching us up.
No, I think seems like the right thing to do. I mean, I wasn't around to know what was discussed or anything about the property, but I just know it's been there an awful long time. Similar to the Herringbrook site that's in front of that has the gym and all that sort of thing. It's just a strip that sort of runs along the marsh all the way down, all the way over to the railroad.
Yeah, that's the property.
Yeah.
And this was an order written from the early stages of conservation commissions and Wetlands Protection Act, so just a few years
Sure.
after we all got this rolling, so
Okay.
it's pretty bare bones.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't see an issue. Anybody, in the audience, we don't advertise anything.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, that's something that you can get out to them.
Yes.
Okay. Good enough.
Sure, I'll give a call, and when it's ready, I'll come get it, right?
Sounds good.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
We have another certificate of compliance request for 73 Seaside.
Okay.
And so that one is a single-family home down on Seaside. You guys know this one?
It's not ringing a bell.
I know where Seaside is, I don't remember the house.
It's a new house, Andy, or
Yes.
renovation?
Yeah.
Do we have a letter or anything from an engineer?
Yeah, so we have the as-built plan with the engineer's statement and photos. I mean, we have got the complete submittal, and best of my ability, it looks like it was built in substantial compliance too.
That's why we don't remember it. It didn't have any problems.
Yeah, this is one of those ones I don't know, you go down and you take a right, I know that, and it's right on the water. And I'm sure they got,
I know where the road is, but I can't picture the house.
they're nice houses,
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
very nice
It makes it
houses.
tough this time of year when it's covered in snow to seal it, but, I mean, if you get the letter from the engineer,
Yep.
it seems like that's something you
That's
could
his
issue.
job.
Mhm.
Yep. That's good.
Scituate?
Yeah, what we're gonna do is just
Well, we
kinda
can-
continue that.
Well, I
one.
can continue it.
Can.
I make a motion to continue Town of Scituate, 2632 Gardner Road, to February 5th at 6:15.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we know anything more about that, Amy? Do we know what the status is? I know that Lucas was supposed to go out there, do a wetlands review. Did they get that in before it snowed? And
Right, you know what, I don't know. I just know that they are asking for a continuance. Things are hopefully making progress.
Do you know that, Greg? Do you know if Lucas?
Lucas did get out there.
Lucas did make it out,
Yeah.
yes. We
Yes.
surveyed a new wetland line
This-
for them to review, and they were determining which line to use, whether to use the original Richardson line, the Brad Holmes line, or the new Lucas line.
There's 3 of them.
There's 3 of them
Can we just sort of come down and?
Or
go
use
on?
line averaging, yeah.
now. They're all about the same.
Okay.
That's
Also,
good.
there's some progress.
Yeah, there's some progress.
Okay, so do we get a motion and
Yes, we did.
We did, and we set it, it's 2/5/18. It's 6:30?
6:15.
6:15. Wow.
a, Is anybody here from McKay, 22 and
Yeah,
20
that's
and 22 Ocean Fronts? On January 8th, 2018, at 6:30 PM in the Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws, and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Kathleen McKay to repair a drift fence and install an additional 33 lineal-foot added cobble, backfill, restore a dune, and plant beach grass on property located at 20 and 22 Oceanfront Street in Humboldt. But as no interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jeremy Packard. I'm with CLE Engineering. Tonight I'm here on behalf of Kathleen McKay and Joanne Morrell of 20 and 22 Oceanfront Street. It's down in Hummerock. So these two houses right here, this is Joanne and Kathleen, are literally between a rock and a hard place. They have a revetment on this side of them and an existing vertical concrete seawall on this side. So in front of their homes, a couple years ago, I think 5 years ago, they built a drift fence, exactly as you see here, with a man-made dune on top. And it's just made to dissipate wave energy and protect the homes a bit. Since then, that was Rick Grady that designed and constructed that. Since then, she's hired CLE Engineering, and we have met with DEP and discussed it with local Concom a couple times, and just trying to come up with different ideas, ways we can better protect the homes and the septic systems. DEP quickly shot down any kind of hard armoring system, revetment, seawalls, that kind of thing. They just were not receptive to it at all, regardless of what's been permitted on either side of them. Yeah, none whatsoever. It just said, you can try all you want, and we will just never approve it. They were pretty hard on that.
Yeah.
So their consolation to that was that they would allow us to backfill with a heavier material than just the sand that you see out there now. So something 4 to 6 inch Riverstone cobble is what we have proposed. Rounded stone. You see, it's a sandier area of Hummerock, but you do see a fair amount of cobble out on the beach. I just went before this meeting to kind of check out what had happened in this storm. Luckily, everything's still sanded and the drift fence isn't exposed. But it's really just a matter of time. So this is an effort in proactive permitting. We're not even looking to do the work right now. Like the dune's established, and we don't want to rip anything out until we have to. We just want the permits in place to be able to do the work when it comes. So basically, what we propose is when the drift fence is exposed, for a contractor to go out and expose the rest of it fully and repair any sections. Right now, the fence exists from here north, goes all the way over here. That's all existing. So in this area, all we propose to do is repair what's already there and leave it as is. Then we would extend the same fence, the same design, 33 feet around the corner to the south, and protect. They're getting some splash, some end effects from this concrete wall this way. So we're going to extend the fence 33 feet on the same property, on the McKay property. And after we install the fence, repair and install the new fence, it's 2 rows of fence about 5 feet apart. In between that, we would install 4 feet of Riverstone cobble, and then backfill the same dune, sand dune, right over the top of it, and replant, and so everything would be below grade. So it's a good combination between a hard and a soft structure. We received comments from DEP, Chapter 91. Their only comment was to remove the geotextile that we had proposed initially. I had the cobblestone being wrapped in geotextile. It's typical design. They wanted that removed so it wouldn't turn out to be, so when a storm does hit it, it wouldn't turn into just trash on the beach, right?
Yeah.
So we took that out. And then NHESP, National Heritage, got back to us today with comments. Time of year restrictions and sediment size restrictions for the piping plover, which is obviously, I mean, we're happy to have that written into an order. It's all understandable. And that is the project.
What was the comment on the plovers?
It was time of year restrictions and basically it's plover habitat.
Can't do it from April to August, and then
April to August.
Yeah, and there was a set of conditions that have to be included in any conditions we give you.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then also, number 4 is applicant monitoring the presence of the plovers by qualified shorebird monitor during April to August.
Sure, yeah, so they'd allow that, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know if that was a plan that you guys need to submit to us, the monitoring plan, or if, so maybe we need to get clarification from them as to whether that's something you provide, or...
Yeah, so it says the applicant
where-
should allow regular monitoring.
Right,
I'm not
so-
sure if that's something they do along Hummerock regularly as part of their,
Well, I know Audubon
They do.
definitely
They
does
do.
monitor, but, so I think we should just get some clarification about that comment.
okay.
Right, you could also point out that you're going to do this after their habitat is removed.
You know, I didn't.
It's a restoration,
I didn't
you're
wanna
not
go there,
going in and
so-
disturbing,
but,
yeah.
right, I mean, without it being a man-made dune, there is no habitat in the first place.
Right.
It's man-made habitat.
When a storm comes in and takes it away, it's gone,
Exactly, right.
and you're going to restore it.
And
Yes.
then they can come back.
And they come back, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So
Typically,
looking
the-
at this letter, though, it says that all sand used for dune building and nourishment at this site shall be similar grain size to what is currently present on the beach. But you're proposing to use a river stone.
Which you do see out there. You see, yeah, there's a fair amount. It's not all sand out there. It's rocky in a lot of places.
But plovers won't nest on riverstone, they nest on sand, so
Right.
it has to be sand.
But,
Well, let's,
The Riverstone's buried.
yeah, that's
Right, they're
buried.
gonna put
See, so
sand
they
on
won't
top.
even-
Yeah.
Sand on top, right?
Yes.
Don't
yeah.
have to-
The Riverstone, it's just so when the wave action eats away at the dune, when you finally get to the fence, to the core of the structure, then you
Yeah.
have the sacrificial fence and the cobbles and just as a final backstop to
Right,
even that
and then you
water
can put
out.
some more sand on top.
And then we put the
there.
sand back on top, right,
Right.
yeah.
So it's similar to the pilot program on Atlantic.
That's actually how I got the idea, was
Yeah.
Pat,
Yes.
Pat gave me the plans for the pilot
Okay,
program.
yeah.
and That's
So that's what
exactly
it
how this all
sounds
came
like, yeah.
about, yeah.
They were probably the first ones to do these
That,
fences
that
in
wasn't us for the
Hummerock.
pilot program, yeah.
Right,
but,
because they just kept dumping fill and it would wash away, and they'd put fill and it would
Yeah.
wash away.
Sure, yeah.
before
So I was
they
kind of
had that.
picking Pat's brain. He goes, "Oh, I got something for you," and he
Yeah.
pulls out those plans, and
Yeah.
here we are. Yeah.
What's the elevation here?
The elevation of the top of the berm is 20 feet. We are proposing the top of the fence here to be at 14. So it's 6 feet of sand before you get to the fence.
Well, that's extreme South Hummerock, so the beach is wider and the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's different down there.
Oh yeah, we're nowhere close to
where
the
we
water.
Not-
typically talking about.
Like the other end.
That's right next to the marsh.
Which is why I think it survived this last storm too.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly, yeah.
This one has a chance to survive.
so what are your
See.
thoughts? Well, Betty, do you have any?
No, I'm fine with it. I mean, Mother Nature will do what she's gonna do.
Sure.
And if they're willing to foot the cost to keep replenishing it, good for them.
I think it's good. I know the property and I know exactly where they're talking about. I think there's a good chance it would work very well.
Are those houses on pilings or are they on a
No, they're
foundation?
not.
No.
We've brought that up to them, and that's obviously a big cost prohibitive.
Sure.
Yeah, when they started this, that with dune was almost cut back to the house.
Yes.
First, they were worried about losing the house.
Okay.
And then they brought in massive amounts of fill, and that just washed away. So no, looks good.
Lisa?
No, I think it's just good.
Jen?
All set?
So what are your recommendations? Amy?
Well, I'm also in support of the project. I mean, I think it looks really good. You know, and I think it meets the requirements of the different regulations that we've taken a look at. I am a little hesitant on closing tonight without clarification from Natural Heritage on their list of requirements, just so we get those right for the order.
Sure.
But other than that, I would say order of conditions with these requirements spelt out by Natural Heritage.
I would ask one question. How do you, what access are you planning to the beach for any equipment?
Court Street, you can park This is you can walk right through here. So
Yes, I know.
we could park here and walk a crane right onto the beach from there. We don't have any mats proposed or anything because it's all in the sand. So they would just kind of restore the site, rake it out before they left.
Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak to us?
So we'll just keep it open for the next meeting. I mean, there's no rush, obviously, when we close this, because unless we get another storm.
Right. But it's all right. It's already in the pipeline. So yeah.
Yeah,
Another
yeah.
storm comes between now and then. I think we'll be all right.
So do we want to continue it for
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Enough time?
Is that
I would
enough time
think
to get
so.
that clarification?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, then
So
we
you'll
talk,
reach
yeah, we
out,
can
Jeremy?
talk to Amy Honig and see
Yeah.
exactly what she's looking for. Would you guys be able to close without me at the next hearing?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
This will just be
Just
a
so the client
matter
wouldn't
of
have to pay
tweaking
for
the
me to come
conditions,
back, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's just what we're gonna do, is just make sure, and maybe before the meeting, Amy can tell you what it's gonna be, so.
Yeah, and if you do need me here for whatever reason, I certainly can make
No,
myself
I think
available.
if we give you that information, you're in agreement with it, then there'd be no need to be at the meeting.
Clarification.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that you know what we put on there before we close, so that,
Yeah, so if it's gonna be any different than what we talk about tonight, then maybe I would come back, but yeah. So yeah, I can work that out with Amy in the next 2 weeks and,
that's fine.
yeah.
Right, and actually, this is a little redundant, because it says you cannot work between April 1st and August 31st. Then it says you should allow regular monitoring between April 1st and August 31st. Well, you're not going to be doing any work, and you wouldn't prevent
And she
monitoring.
wouldn't, right, and she wouldn't kick people off the property or anything
Monitoring
like
is for
that.
the birds.
Right, but they can't work between April 1st and August 31st, and they have to allow monitoring between April 1st and August 31st, which they're going to meet either of those conditions. They're not going to ban monitoring, and they're not going to work during the summer, I'm sure.
Have they ever found any pluggers along Pomeroy?
North end,
They're,
not the south end that I know.
Yeah.
North end.
Right up there at Fort Cliff, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah,
right down from
Not the south end, no.
from the Air Force Base.
yeah.
Okay. All right,
Okay, so I'll make a motion to continue 2022 Oceanfront until January 22nd at 6:40.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Maybe.
Are you here for Millennium?
Don't you?
I am.
And you'll-
Maybe, what we could do, there's gonna be a few continuances, maybe we can just move through those
Quickly.
up to, it'll only take us a few minutes, at least get up to Wall Street. All right?
We
Yes.
gotta do something.
Right. So we continue DPW. Mr. McKay, so,
So it'd be sunset.
So for 23 Sunset, there's a request for continuance of 2 months, and I think we discussed this a little bit at our last meeting, so I'd be very interested in hearing what anybody
Okay,
has to say.
After much thought, because that was kind of sprung on us at the last meeting, that they wanted the continuance, and then after, going back and forth and talking to Amy, nothing is going to happen this winter on that enforcement order. Even if they had the funds and they were all set to go, because it's frozen out there.
Right, but this isn't on the
But this isn't
enforcement.
on the
Oh, no,
enforcement.
this is,
on a
yes,
notice of
well,
intent.
what
We're
we're
gonna get a
saying,
legal opinion.
but what we're saying is that we won't hear the NOI until the enforcement order is taken care of. So, we wouldn't, because the enforcement order cannot be taken care of until springtime, we wouldn't be hearing the NOI. So, after great thought in talking with Amy, I personally feel give them until spring on the NOI.
So the way it was left last time in my memory is we were going to speak with town council, because I
Yes.
asked the question,
Yeah.
why can't we just close it?
Right, well, and so we did, we consulted, and bottom line was, why not give it to them if that's what they're asking for, because nothing's gonna be happening in the winter anyways. So I don't think there's a lot that we're losing by giving them the continuance to the spring.
And then we
which
can,
would be my recommendation to go to 319.
and see what the weather's like. And then we can go back at it full force.
Right.
Lisa?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time, and I worry about letting something go for 2 months, but I can definitely appreciate Penny's perspective on it. I think that's valid.
Yeah. Nothing could happen
Yeah.
now.
I just worry about like the momentum of it.
No, we're not gonna forget
We'll
this
have,
one.
we'll have it on the schedule.
We're not gonna forget it.
Yeah.
But this is the right thing to do after talking with Amy. Okay?
So you're in favor of it? You're in favor?
Correct.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
you guys should,
No, what-
Okay, I make
Is
a
this
motion.
something we would take to the audience?
Right.
no.
I'm not,
No.
this is Richard, so.
Um,
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
not
that's-
No, I didn't think so.
something you would take.
So,
No, because this is like administrative.
Right,
Just-
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just,
so I noticed you were raising your hand. This isn't something we can take to the audience at this time. It's going to be, we're going to have a motion to continue this until March, and then it will be raised again. And at that time, assuming we discuss it, then you'll have
Then
your
you can
chance to
talk.
say whatever you want. Okay.
Okay, so I make a motion to continue Norton 23 Sunset to, just give me a second
March
here.
19th?
319, but I have to look. 319 at 6:15.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
May I ask one question? Is that allowed? About Norton?
No, we can't discuss it, I'm sorry.
Can't discuss it?
No.
No, but you're welcome to call the office tomorrow. We can try to answer any questions you have.
Thank you.
Okay.
So now we're back to
Pinnock.
Pinnock.
Yeah.
What time was that to? 319 at
6:15, first one up.
6:15? Okay.
Yep.
Kelleher, 10 Pinnock Drive, attached garage, continuance for a month. But there was two things with Pinnock. They were going to submit a plan, but then there's also an enforcement piece there. There was some cutting and some
Right,
things, and
right,
we're going to
so-
let them sort of bring that together, but we've been waiting on it for a bit.
We have been, but I've been assured by the engineer, who happens to be in the audience, that things are making progress. So they just need a little bit more time to tune things up, and we'll see it in a month.
Okay, all right. Because there is those two pieces. There's the addition, I mean, Greg's here, so.
He knows,
There-
they know.
There is, a majority of the work was done on the neighbor's property, so we've been working with them to try to get the permission to do the work on that property.
I saw.
Yes, it was a little bit of a monkey wrench thrown into it.
Okay, that would create a problem.
When was the enforcement order issued?
I'm not sure if it was a call that we took in the summer. Pat was actually going on vacation. I went there.
Yeah,
I
that's
did
right.
speak to the owner. They did stabilize everything. They neatened it all up. They put in chips and everything that we asked them to do and stabilize it. But the request was to get back to us with planting and things like that. And then I think that's when they got a hold of the surveyor, did the survey, and realized that they weren't all on property, so they have to get that worked out, because you can't file on someone else's property. So you gotta get permission from that person to do that. So,
A sticky wicket.
It got sticky wicky.
Young, 18 Lowell
So we
Street.
need a motion on that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I make a motion to continue 10 Pin Oak to 6:20 on February 21st.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. By the way, that's a Wednesday, people.
That's the only one we have back.
Yeah.
Okay. Young at 18 Lowell Street.
Okay, they would like a continuance.
And what is anything in particular?
Yeah, well, we can't talk about it, but I can let you know that the project is being revised,
Okay.
so.
I mean, I think it's important to know at least why it's,
Yeah, no, well, the NOI, I think, says 7-bedroom septic with an additional story, when in fact it's a raise rebuild. So it's coming back as a raise rebuild.
So it's gonna come back
On
to-
pilings, yeah, so it's taken a little while to get the plans together.
Okay. So then I'll make a motion to continue. Yeah,
How long?
no.
How
sorry.
long do they want to?
Oh,
continue?
they want to go to January 22nd.
Which, January 22nd, they'll probably continue to the next real date.
Yeah.
Well, should we just put it out a month then?
The request says here. I don't
I don't know, we talked about it, it doesn't really matter, to tell you the truth.
We'll just move
Because
it
they're gonna
along.
end up re-advertising the whole 9 yards, so.
All right.
All right, Penny, go ahead.
No, that's okay. So I make a motion to continue 18 Lowell Street to January 22nd at 6:45.
Second?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Might as well do Toll Brothers too, since.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Toll Brothers has also requested a continuance. Do we know,
And they're also working through things, making progress with the planning board and with other aspects of that very large development project. And they've requested continuance to February 5th. So hopefully we'll see them then.
So I make a motion to continue Toll Brothers to February 5th at 6:20.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So we'll go back to McKay, Millennium Maintenance. On January 8th, 2018, at 6:20 PM, the Town Hall Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws, and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Millennium Maintenance and Power Sweeping / David Ross to remove contaminated soil from property located at the intersection of 3A and Manlot Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
Hi, how you doing? My name is John Harvey. I'm with Wilcox and Barton, and here on behalf of Millennium Maintenance and Power Sweeping.
And your cards, you can give those to Carol.
Sure. And here's the list.
Thank you.
Sure. So yes, this is a small area on the side of Route 3A, right near the Public Safety Building, is a disposal site listed with Mass DEP. My company's been hired by Millennium to conduct response actions on its behalf and essentially clean up the property here. What we have, it was a gasoline spill as a result of a traffic accident back in November 2016. Response actions have been conducted, but they haven't been as successful as we would have liked. We'd like to have been, done by now. Typically, this not a big spill, not a lot of contamination, but it's still out there. So, what we're proposing to do now is a limited and shallow soil excavation. We've done quite a bit of assessment out here, soil sampling, and we've pretty well delineated the extent of the contaminated soil. Looks to be no deeper than 4 feet, and roughly like a 10 by 10 area right on the side of the road. So we think the best course of action at this point is to get in there when it's dry and just dig out that shallow soil.
Could I just ask a question? I'm just curiosity more than anything. Why did it go down so far? It wasn't that big of a spill. Was it because of the wetland?
It could have been. It's tough to say. I don't really know the answer to
I'm
that. But
surprised it would
yeah.
get them 4 feet.
The type of material that's out there, it's not exactly sandy.
Yeah.
So you see contamination will travel further through sandier or coarser material.
Yeah, yeah.
So that could have been part of the reason. Yeah. Tough to say. But the best course of action for a spill like this is to just remove the source.
Yeah.
Has a tendency to stay in the soil.
Oh.
So.
Do you replace the material after you're done?
Not all the time, on a shallow situation like this. A lot of times when it's a safety issue, we certainly do. But for this one, we would bring in clean fill from off-site.
That would basically match what's in the area?
Yep. Yeah, and I think in our proposal, I think I added in a layer of peat or silt
good.
and peat
Yeah.
over the top.
Yeah.
On the top layer.
That'd be good.
Paul?
No questions.
Lisa?
Nothing.
Jen?
It's all good.
Amy, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, so just for consistency of submissions and so on, that the submittal for an NOI is a little bit lacking for information. So I'm not gonna recommend that you close an issue tonight until we get a little bit more information. Specifically with respect to the resource delineation, it's BVW, but it wasn't called out as BVW. So there's actually wetland vegetation that I think should be part of a replacement plan. And that was something that DEP had commented on in their file number designation. So we want to see at least that area replicated 1-to-1. I mean, I know Scituate has a 2-to-1 policy, but in this area where you're remediating a spill in our water supply protection area, we definitely don't want to slow things down, but we do need to be consistent among different applicants that we see submittals from. And there's a host of other information that I'm going to provide John a list with of missing info.
I have a question about you said DEP commented, was that on this filing or on the
Yes.
public safety? Okay.
Yes, no on this filing.
They did, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, they have, well, they actually had comments related to a 401 water quality cert. So I mean, one of the lines of questioning would be how confident you are that this 10 by 10 area is going to be the extent of the, remediation.
Sure, yeah.
Or
that's a good
whether it's
question.
going to grow, because if it does grow and you're working in resource area, you may trigger other permitting requirements like the 401 water quality cert.
Sure.
But at a minimum, digging in resource area, you're required to replace in kind what you're digging up. So you can't just backfill it and walk away. So I'm expecting that you would need to plant and monitor what you're replacing would be. I mean, those are just really minimum things that a professional wetland scientist could
Sure.
help you with.
We're basing the area, the extent of the proposed excavation on soil sample analytical data. So we're fairly confident that it's not going to increase. Maybe 12 by 15, maybe 12 by 12, maybe 8 by 8, but
Right.
in that range,
It's
yeah.
not always a square box.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think we're close, but probably just tighten up on the site plans, showing a limit of work. We do require mulch stock to, surrounding the work area and the excavation area.
That'll be a condition, correct? Or-
It'll be a condition, but we also like to have it shown on the site plan.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna need a little bit more detail on the site plan than what you submitted.
I see, okay, all right.
In there, actually, we were speaking earlier about how there's a wealth of information about this property because it was associated with the public safety building project. So there was a detailed wetland delineation
Yeah.
report by LEC and site plans existing, like contours. I mean, there's a lot of
Right.
info, which could be definitely useful in getting just more info to the commission.
So we'll continue it.
Can I ask a couple of quick, so you're gonna excavate that area, obviously, you're gonna be on site to make sure that you've reached the area of contamination.
Absolutely.
If you haven't, then you're gonna have to excavate further.
Right.
So the site could get larger depending on,
It could, yes, yeah.
and then, once you're satisfied that you've removed the contaminated material, you're gonna replace it with similar material, including peat or something on the top. As Amy pointed out, you probably should show some sort of a erosion control right around that area, and maybe you wanna put it away just a little bit in case you wind up having to
Give a little buffer.
Right, and you
Yeah.
have a staging area that's out, so it looks like it's on the shoulder of the road.
Right, for the equipment,
Yep.
yep.
And then you're gonna be traveling over a little bit of, I assume a BBW or something to get to
It's
that.
all BBW in there.
Yeah, so there's travel over that. So I'm wondering if you should show on the plan some sort of either planting or restoration to that effect. Something simple.
Okay.
Um,
And that's what you were getting at.
Yeah, and actually, so it doesn't have to be a separate report. In fact, a lot of times contractors, if they're given the plan set with the specifics of the restoration detail
Oh, sure.
on the
Yep.
plan, we've seen it work that way too.
Yeah, I think it would be concise, and then we'd know just what your plan was to
Yeah.
not
Exactly,
only
yeah, going
remove
in.
it, but to restore it.
Sure.
Which is more important to us. Obviously, we want the
Right.
contaminated material out of there, but then we want to see that it gets restored.
Right.
And we'll probably be requiring, not probably, but we will be requiring that you monitor the vegetation that it takes for at least a growing season or two.
Yeah. And
It's a standard condition.
rise and it's.
Yeah, maybe it'll be nicer when you're done.
Arrow
I don't know.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Real friendly stuff.
If their stuff doesn't survive, the other stuff will take over.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it should be planted out rather than just left bare.
Sure.
So I think those things should be added, as well as the information that Amy was talking about.
Sure.
We can get that on there.
I'll do that.
I'm assuming you're gonna wait, like you said, it's gonna try to get a drier time, so.
Yeah, that might get tricky if it warms up, which it's supposed to, and if we get rain that does receive runoff from the roadway there.
Right.
And we're not gonna go out and try to dam it up and dig in that. We'll have to wait till it dries out.
Right,
Yeah.
we were fortunate to do the safety building during the dry season, because that area is
Yeah.
typically pretty wet.
Yeah, yeah.
Last winter was a piece of cake for them.
Yeah.
No, I know, and I know from experience doing remedial type projects that groundwater disposal can be costly.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you definitely want to make sure that you're in the driest time of
Yeah,
year you
that's a
can.
factor, yeah.
At the same time, you don't want it to keep migrating out of that area. But I'm
Right.
pretty sure with the material that's there now, it's not traveling too far.
No, I think we've been fortunate in that respect, absolutely. But you're right, we don't want to sit on it for too long. So as soon as, we get this part of it taken care of, we're okay with Mass DOT, with their permitting. And as soon as when we're ready to go, if it's wet, we'll wait till it's dry and we'll move on it right away.
All right, well, why don't you get that information back to Amy, and then.
You got it.
How long do you think it would take to do that? Do you wanna-
The actual excavation?
To get the, we've got to continue this hearing.
Yes.
So we can continue it for a couple of weeks, we can continue it for a month.
That's a good question, because we're gonna go to a subcontractor for the restoration plan, who's already been in touch with Amy, so he's not a total stranger to this. I don't know if he can get it done in 2 weeks, though, maybe a month.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go out a month.
Given this time of year, it's probably not going to be that
Right.
critical.
Right. Everything's in
Okay.
frozen.
We can do February 5th. So I make a motion to continue morning and maintenance and power sweeping intersection of Route 3A and Man Lot to February 5th at 6:25.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Was there anybody in the audience for that one? I didn't draw a crowd, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, maybe next time.
Yeah.
Frank. That was the insurance company? Yeah. I mean, it's very costly.
Yeah.
That's
Do
fine.
you remember though, this is
Thank you.
not as bad as the one,
Oh, geez.
the other one with the road resurfacer cut by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Feely?
Yes, Billy.
Investment Trust, 119 Jericho Road, raise and rebuild. On January 8th, 2018, at 6:55 PM, the Town Hall, Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws, and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws regarding the application of Mike and Michelle Feely Field Investment Trust to raise and rebuild a single-family dwelling on property located at 119 Jericho Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend.
Good evening. Good evening. For the record, my name is Gregory Morse. I'm a registered engineer, Morse Engineering, representing the property owner, Mike Healy, and his wife, Michelle. This is a notice of intent in a stormwater permit we submitted with respect to a raise and rebuild of a single-family home located at 119 Jericho Road. Jericho Road is located right here. The corner of Damon Road is located right here. This is the corner lot. Across the street on the opposite side of Jericho Road is a portion of Museum Beach fronting on Scituate Harbor. Associated with that, we located the edge of the American grass, the beach grass, and then we established a 100-foot buffer for the coastal dune and the coastal beach, 100-foot buffer shown in green. The entire lot itself is also located within FEMA flood zone AE elevation 15. For reference, the majority of the site is approximately at elevation 12 or 13. Again, the site has an existing house on it located right here. The house is inside of the 100-foot buffer. What we're proposing to do is to take that house down and construct a new one. The outline of the new house is in bold here. It pulls the house outside of the 100-foot buffer, the beach, but it is located in the floodplain. In the notice of intent, I included a foundation plan. The foundation plan and this site plan both indicate that our first floor elevation is at 16.1. It provides more than a foot of freeboard over the floodplain. We also are specifying the roof of flood vents in the foundation. It is a poured concrete foundation, but has the necessary flood vents on the portion of the building. There's no mechanical space or habitable space below the flood elevation. It's simply storage. The stormwater associated with this project, we submitted calculations showing that pre versus post development, there's no increase in the rates or the volume of runoff. How we've done that is we've picked up the roof area here and we've directed it into 12 leaching dry wells in the backyard to provide recharge. Being that this is an area that's land subject to coastal storm flowage, there is no requirement to mitigate those rates and volumes of runoff because the land is determined, or the ocean is determined to have infinite storage capacity. But we ran the calcs anyways and are providing the dry wells. Okay.
No, I don't think I have any questions. Richard?
I do have a question. I don't think it affects this. Does the land there slope down away from the ocean? Front to back?
Jericho Road's kind of a high point. It actually
Right.
slopes down Damon Road.
Right.
It does come down Damon Road, yes.
Because we did another one on Foam Road.
Yeah, the next road over.
Yep, yep, and that had a low spot, the second lot in.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, this site is fully developed, it has a lot of existing lawn area that would go back as lawn. We're not bringing in significant fill. We are changing the grades in front of the house on Jericho Road, but they're all plus or minus 6 inches of what exists today. There's no significant change in grade or significant fill here.
Paul, no questions?
Amy?
Okay, so I just had a few comments on this one. I mean, it looks pretty straightforward to me. And Greg and I actually have been in discussion about the need for a peer review on the stormwater. So we can get that going. It's pretty straightforward. It's typical on these types of projects. In fact, we just did one on the raised rebuild on Hatherley down the road. So anyways, we can get that going. The way that works is we put it out to a couple different engineering companies that we work with, and we'll take probably the low bid and give us a check, and we'll get them going, and hopefully it'll get done pretty quick. So, and then just real basic notes, Greg, we do like to see silt sock, not wattle on these projects for limited work. And Is there an elevation certificate for this one?
I haven't done one yet, but I can provide you with one, sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we need it necessarily, but you'll definitely need it for the building permit. And I understand this did go through the ZBA, and you were given a special permit? Is that what it is?
Correct, yeah, the lot's an undersized lot, but it is pre-existing, non-conforming. It was approved by the ZBA, yeah.
I went to historical as well.
Oh, nice location.
Yeah, it is.
So that's all I got.
Anybody in the audience?
Yoler.
Underneath the chair.
Gotta ask, you know? No, it seems pretty straightforward. For the comments that Amy has, I think we're good.
How far do you want me to continue this out, Amy, because of the stormwater?
Peer review.
I mean, I would like to say just to the next meeting, although I don't know, we'll just see. Don't know if our engineers are in Florida or, as long as they're around, they might be able to get it done, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you can continue it to the next meeting,
Sure.
and if that doesn't work out, we'll go out another one.
All
Yeah.
right. That's, will do. I make a motion to continue 119 Jericho Road to January 22nd at 6:50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Order of conditions for,
Kubler?
Q-Zone.
Kubler.
104 Road Foster, Crushstone driveway.
I'll make a motion, we accept the written.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Does he have my plan?
Yes, he does. He was gonna keep it on you, too.
He's gonna keep it. Oh,
So I had a few things, I don't know if anybody else, Amy, anything that you want
Talk about,
to, reports, and correspondence?
well, I think probably a lot of my comments are self-evident based on our weather from last week.
Sure.
And different things that the town experienced with flooding in our vulnerable areas. And I'm sure you've all seen the footage and driven around town, but there's definitely some areas that we'll be working to try to fix, like the seawall breach and things like that. So we'll probably expect to see those projects come to us. And they also go along with vulnerability assessment work that we've been doing as a team with the Coastal Resource Officer and other departments in town. So we've been working to try to develop a townwide strategy to address some of these areas and for the future, you know. So anyways, lots of calls have been coming in. All the emergency response team that worked through the storm was phenomenal. People, dedicated workers that were out there, you know, making sure that the streets were clear and people had, you know, public safety access and that damage was minimized. Businesses were reopened quickly, so this was all good. You probably saw that Governor Baker came into town last Friday, so we definitely were on the news.
Yeah, once again.
I have friends down in South Carolina, and they saw us on the
California.
national
so-
news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every storm.
Everywhere.
Every state.
Scituate.
Yeah.
With regard to that, like with private folks starting to do cleanup, just encouraging people to get a minor activities permit if that's all that's entailed, you know, there's washover and things like that, and you see folks get out there with a bobcat. I mean, there's some stuff that's minimal, you know, shovel and bucket or wheelbarrow, but there's stuff where people are mobilizing with equipment to clean stuff up, and I think it's important that people remember that we require that at least a minor activities permit for picking up large amounts of material or larger amounts of material. If it's real damage that's caused real problem, then you're there to be talking to you or
Right.
somebody about whether or not an RDA is needed or an after effect or something like that. But I think a lot of them, where it's just stuff that's washed under the house or away from the house, that we've been allowing people to do that cleanup, but we do want to monitor it to some degree. And that people don't take the opportunity to do that, to do other work that goes beyond just cleaning up after the storm.
Right, that leads to our conversations from the fall. So we have had a number of people stop in and call the office just since Thursday, looking for minor activities permits to clean up the debris. And as far as physical damage to, structures and stuff like that, the word from our building commissioner is that actually the damage was quite minimal, so lots of people got very lucky. There wasn't a lot of evident physical damage on these structures, so that's good. I'm sure that we'll see some projects come through, but I think a lot of it is the cobble that washed up, particularly in Humrock, Central Ave, stuff like that.
Along Oceanside and stuff.
Yeah.
Different areas that certainly need to get put back up or put back.
Right, and it seems to me like the same contractors that have done this before, they've been basically
Right.
teaching me, it's like, this is how we do it, and so we're just being careful to make the minor activities permits specific and with a time frame
Yeah,
so that it's
that's-
for the post-storm damage cleanup only, not to expand, so,
Yeah, I mean,
Project Creep.
at least it may have others, but we conditioned a raise and rebuild on the corner of Craneswood on Central Avenue. I don't remember the exact number. And they were putting in the pilings, but several of the
Oh, right.
pilings have been floated
Well,
down the
I've
street.
heard about that one, yeah.
And aren't they required to get those back in place? Because they're in front of 2 or 3 houses, one right in
yeah.
front of me, actually.
Oh,
but-
don't worry, they're going to. Those
Right, they
filings
will.
are not cheap. Yeah.
Right, yeah, no, you have to keep in mind that it's a work in progress, so although this
absolutely.
storm came through in 12 hours, the cleanup's gonna take a number of weeks to, maybe even a month, or, to get things back to the way they
I didn't know
were.
if you'd gotten some calls about
I
that.
have. I
Because
certainly
those
have,
pilings
yeah.
are down the street quite a ways, some of them.
Yeah, no, there were, I know.
5 or
the
6 have floated down. I was kind of impressive watching it float in front of my house.
Flooding was extensive.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, down at my end, there were boats on trailers that the people didn't tie them to the trailer.
They took a ride.
I came within an inch of losing my car in my driveway. and
Oh,
I
my
never had
gosh.
water there.
All I can think of is that
Dumpsters
ad.
were washed across the street. There were several dumpsters and storage units on the ocean side of Humrock, and it washed over into the marsh side.
Yes.
These big, huge metal dumpsters just washed
It was
over.
interesting.
But
I don't mean this as being critical, but there's this ad on TV, it's about slow internet.
Yeah.
And it says like some people just enjoy sitting on gum or walking into a.
Yes, yes.
Do you get that same kind of thrill? Living it?
Frank, you could go live in the deserts of Oklahoma, right? You have no beach to walk on, and you'll die in a tornado.
There you
So,
go.
yeah.
it's better than watching
Right.
paint dry.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
back to business here.
No, there is another one, and I
No, it's
talked.
a beautiful place.
I talked to Paul Armstrong today because he has a project on the corner of Central and Seaview. And he had a bunch of his, there's about 8 piles that washed over onto the marsh. He chained them together so they would stay together, but he can't get them back yet because the road is blocked.
The whole road is blocked.
The whole road is full of cobble, and the property's right here, and those are long, so he would have to go here to get the property, because he can't go all the way down to Barrett, down Atlantic, to return them. So that road has to be opened up for him to be able to,
Honestly, though, that's a call to DPW, that's not us.
Yeah, that's DPW.
Right. It'll get done.
It will get done.
Yes.
But yes, the road is blocked.
I get a call, one of our trail, the folks that are watching our trail sent an email that there's a tree on power lines going up the Ellis Road, which is over our trail. It'll probably get done, but it's gonna take a little time. There's probably other priorities. The power's not out, so
Yeah.
they'll get to them. But
Oh,
you say it happens pretty fast, but making everything right again takes a little more time. Lucky our new town administrator, what a trial by fire.
Yeah.
But the calls are great, because not everybody is everywhere, right? So keep those calls coming in to let us know
Yeah.
when there is something
Right.
Yeah.
that needs to be addressed.
yeah.
It was a pretty, what I noticed, I sent an email to Nancy Durfee and to a couple, I was surprised, for all the water that came into the harbor, that there was very little water down on the avenues that finished up the seawall work along Oceanside. Now, maybe it's the angle of the storm.
Yeah, the wind was out of the northwest for
those
a
2
lot, which
feet-
normally, it's a nor'easter, and that surf just,
Well, just
Yeah.
north alone keeps it from slamming
Yeah.
into the coast.
But the
Because it
amount
was-
of flooding that
everything-
happened in the harbor, and that whole area, and the, behind Peggotty Beach, I mean, there was more water in that Kent Street marsh and flooding all the way through an old driftway that I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
we
So I
haven't
guess-
seen forever, yeah, because the sea,
No.
they said the highest since 1921.
But the seawall on Oceanside's up 2 more feet,
Right.
and it made a huge difference, I thought.
Well, hopefully,
When I drove
part
down
of
there.
that was to keep that up, because there
Oh,
was
yeah, let's keep
far
going
less
on
water in
there.
that basin.
Maybe the rest of it should be 2 feet higher than that. I don't know, maybe.
No, but
Well, there's
there
probably
was
a limit to where we
minimal
could go,
flooding
but
down there
it's
compared
nice
to
to
what
see
there usually is.
The efforts that have been done to protect some of those things seem to
The
be.
response time with everybody was tremendous. Everything was set up well in all parts of town. I mean, they had guys all stationed in different places, so everybody was able to
Right.
run off.
No, it's-
Well, it was nice it didn't come in the middle of the night, it was a day storm.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
long before we had second tide, so.
Oh, yeah, that was really.
One of the things that I'll be doing probably starting tomorrow is doing the post-storm assessment of septic systems that are along the beach. So I'll be walking all of Hummerock and Peggotty and other these, areas where
Great.
their septic systems, because so it's a joint effort with Jen Keefe with Board of Health and myself to assess those properties, but,
Well, you're gonna have a heat wave to do it in, so you.
yeah.
I know, you're not having any more, like freezing weather.
Right. But we don't want the septic system waste to be
Yeah,
going into the harbor or into the
No.
ocean,
That is a priority, I would think, to make sure.
good,
What's been known to happen, from what I understand, especially in Peggotty.
yeah. That's
There's
had
a
some,
couple
this, we probably conditioned a few tight tanks down there because there's just no more places for a leaching area to go. Just
Right,
get
and then I
scoured
think
away.
with all the water, they float up, or, I don't know.
But the storms can go either way. Sometime you'll have a storm that dumps way more fill on top, and then the next storm will scour,
Yeah.
Take
Right.
you
everything
know,
away.
yeah.
Right.
Huh,
I'll report back.
all right. Just a few quick ones. I had a chance to, this is something that maybe you and I need to look at when the snow melts a little bit. In conjunction with doing our parking areas and stuff, which hopefully we're gonna be moving forward on, or we are moving forward on, just gotta get some plans and stuff done. We need a bridge and boardwalk at the Higgins-McAllister piece of property. There's a brook that runs through there. And the folks that are working on the, mapping out the trails have pretty much located where they want that to go. So it probably needs to thaw out a little bit, but when it does, it's a quick walk. We can park off of Hollycrest and go down there and just take a look and see what we need to condition that boardwalk.
Do you think it's a notice or
I think so.
request?
I think it should be a notice. We'll take a look, but it's probably gonna be about 75 feet long.
Oh, it-
Between boardwalk and
The
bridge.
boardwalk?
The two.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
sort of a wide area that brook is not just a channel, there is a channel, but then on either side, there's a good amount of wetlands and some boulder field and things like that. So in order to make it more accessible, it's gonna have to need a longer boardwalk piece.
And would this be part of the CPC project, or is this
It
like
was
an
funded-
Eagle project?
Yeah,
It
the
is.
CPC
Okay.
funded the materials and things to do
Oh, all right.
that. So if we could take a look at it, then we'll decide what we need to file
Okay.
for that piece. And again, I walked it the other day, but it's under a couple of, 18 inches of snow, so probably be better to look at it as soon as it opens up a little bit.
Yeah, it's tough to make
The
assessments.
good part
when
is you
it's
can
not
walk
covered.
right across it right now.
Yeah, it's frozen.
Until the
What,
weekend.
Scituate Harbor?
Just about.
Yeah, flooding
Yeah.
rains.
I know.
Different story.
Frank,
Yeah.
could, did she get the RFP ready to go send out?
I don't know.
She never got back to me.
I'll find it. I
Okay,
to
because
be
I
honest with you,
just
it's
want
been
to
so
make.
busy.
No, I
the last couple
understand. It's
weeks.
been, well, we had Christmas, everything, and then the storm.
They came in today, and Marla,
Yeah,
the other one, I can't think of her name.
Deb.
Deb Monahan or
Yes,
whatever.
that's it.
But,
And they had just talked to Nancy Holt. I don't exactly know why they're bothering her, but anyway.
I think they're just trying to make sure that they get their RFP right and.
Nancy told her it had to, any information like that had to come to a town employee. I don't know why, but anyway, it's coming. Supposedly, any questions that come to me, I just forward to them and they'll answer.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that's all I know.
We'll get there. Thank
okay,
you. Thanks for helping, Carol.
I just didn't know if she got back to you, because she never got back to me.
I ran into her at a yoga class and she said she was still working on it.
Well,
and they were
that's
getting
all
closer.
fine. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that.
And if it
a
got sent to
copy-
me, that's probably with us.
Well, could be. But I just want to make sure
Yeah.
a copy of the RFP gets forwarded to Wildlands to
Okay.
get on it. I don't want that to be forgotten, that's all.
They've got to get it out to bid.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but, the parking is coming. We had 2.5 weeks there that my brother just couldn't, there were too many personal
Sure.
things going on.
Yeah.
And he came over today and said, the NOI is set, but they want to do all the plans at once, so that will be hopefully next week, he
Oh, great.
promised me. It was between the holidays and then some other things.
Yep.
December was not a good month for my family.
Well, I think it's all moving forward.
Yeah, no, it is moving forward, the funds are there, and we'll definitely, we're sliding along.
Okay. I did get it, the folks that are maintaining the trails had just noticed, like, there was a lot of drop-ins from dogs and stuff like that. They were a little frustrated with all of their work and how messy the place was. I sent an email to Kim Stewart, our dog officer. She in turn was gonna forward that on to the folks at the animal shelter, because a lot of Ellis is used by the folks that are exercising dogs from the dog shelter, and just remind them to pick up. But Kim also pointed out to me that there's a parking area off the Countryway that gets used by people that just come in. And I gotta look and see whether we have any good signage up there, or whether we need to get some more.
I have signs in the room that I'm waiting to use, but you can take a few for
So maybe
Alice
I'll take a
right
couple
now.
and
Yeah, I
put them
get,
up there. Just try to encourage folks to
just to remind them.
pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could add something to our webpage to remind people.
Yeah, it's just too bad. I mean, we
If you
have
want
folks
to,
that are out there doing a great job with the trails, and then they get a little frustrated,
Right.
Who wants to go stepping in squash?
so. There you go. But I'll take a look, because I don't mind popping them up there.
Oh, no, I've got them right over there. I have them hidden, because I want them for when the parking lots are done.
Okay. And then I did send an email out to you guys, and we gotta find a time. It doesn't happen that the swamp is frozen all the time, but
No.
it is right now, and it would be a great opportunity to get out there. Look for our members, agent, I know Nancy Durfee's got an interest in going, and see if we can set up a time that's good for most folks to
Yep.
do that.
It's an interesting trek.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Do you need snowshoes right now, or can you just walk up regular boots?
When I've been out there when it was frozen, we.
This one, I mean,
just had boots.
I was using snowshoes yesterday, but the other day I was just walking.
Yeah.
And that would be fine, either one would. It's not
Waterproof
deep enough
boots,
to,
because you do get wet.
but I'm thinking we could pick a couple of spots that would be not a long, long walk, but Nancy's got an interest in seeing, there's some cedar stands that are in the South Swamp, that's something she'd like to see, and we could get to some of those pieces. I think it would just be good for our commission to take a look at that. I don't know if a weekend is possible, or if we could do a weekday. I don't know how people's work schedule is. It kind of conflicts. Everybody's work day is during the week, including yours. So I don't know if anybody has a weekday that's available to them, if we want to get Amy and Nancy out there, if that's a possibility.
A weekday is possible for me, but I can only speak for myself.
It is possible? Yeah.
I'm good with
Not
that.
every weekday, but some weekdays.
I try to work from home one day a week, so I can cut away like a little bit of time.
Okay, we'll just be quiet if you're supposed to be answering something.
Yeah, you guys can participate. The answer is always no.
Why don't I shoot something out with a couple of different times, and then everybody can, or you guys can let me know what's a good time, and we'll see if we can set that up, because I think it would be great for you.
I'd love to,
get-
yeah.
Get a chance to see some of these spots. I know Nancy wants to do that. Maybe we'll even drag Pat back if he's not in some warm place. Okay. I can't think of anything. Maura, you want to add anything to our meeting this evening? I appreciate you going.
I know, I'm
You've got some
sorry,
long
I'm
days.
so
and
late.
Oh, geez.
I apologize, and also I think just with the switching of everything.
You didn't
time's
miss-
on the way.
you didn't miss
I
anything.
apologize. No, just thank you, and for, Frank, you're the big star of the weekend too. You were on TV, I don't know if you saw yourself. And, see Frank, yeah.
We're trying to board up a house on the end of Edward Foster Road. And the guy's filming us with a couple of screws. I'm like, really? There's nothing going on?
I saw you
And
that live broadcast.
so finally we just caved to a quick comment. But
No, thanks for the update on the trails, and I just have a question for Penny, I don't know, offline, or I can ask it now, is just what's the cost for a conservation restriction? Is it per acre, or is it per parcel? How do they?
It's kind of per parcel.
Okay.
If you're talking about what I think I am, I gave Al the information and the contact, and he was going to get in touch
Okay, I
with
haven't seen
him.
that. Okay, great.
Because it's one of those things, I can't tell you, it's not going to be that much money,
Okay,
but, there's a full formula they have.
okay, perfect, thank you.
when we got the CRs, doing the CRs for all the property that we acquired with CPC funds,
Right,
we got the Wildlands Trust to come out and they looked at our property as a package, and we had also got a number from New England Forest Foundation. The problem is with New England Forest Foundation is that they wanted us to be more aggressive in harvesting
right.
material and stuff on the wood on the property, and we didn't think that the town would really have an appetite for that. And that was the way that they work, is they work in larger woods and working forests. So that was one of the reasons that we went with the Wildlands Trust to do these. And then they sort of looked at all of our properties
Right.
and came up with a sum of money to do the lump of our project.
Well, they did break them out,
Right.
into groups, and what you're talking about is not going to be that
Okay,
costly.
terrific, thank you.
Okay, and I did give that.
Probably more cost associated with surveying the property. And I think a lot of the CRs do require property surveys, plans, so.
Well, yeah, but I already have the plans,
On that, yeah.
On
Just
those.
if you don't have plans, you need to
yeah.
consider
No,
that
but
expense.
It's the size that you're looking at and where you're looking, it's gonna be easy. It's not gonna be.
Because they're gonna take that money, they're gonna invest it, and then that way they can continue to monitor the property. It allows them to come back and check
And manage it.
periodically. Not so much manage it, but just be sure that no intrusion or anything's happened
Anything
on the
bad,
property.
yeah.
So they have enough to be 5 years or whatever, have somebody physically go onto the property and make sure that things haven't been done to it. And then with all those CRs, we make a list of things that we'd like to be able to do on the property, whether it's trails, habitat enhancement, whatever we think is appropriate to have on it, so it's all included in the CR. So sometimes that can be changed a little bit too, if there's certain things that we think we want to have in addition to the norm for a piece of property, we can make sure that that's included in the CR. Right?
Oh, yeah,
Did I get that right?
you got it right. This will be coming to us.
Okay.
So, you know, it's gonna be a nice little sweetheart.
Okay.
And, all good. Can I move on to something else that we have to do
Sure.
quickly? I make a motion that we accept the minutes of December 11th as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Yay, Carol. We're all done for 2017. All minutes are in and accounted for.
Yay.
Hey,
Good job,
good job, Carol.
Thanks,
It's
Carol.
not easy.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one of those memos we got from somebody? What's the other one we're supposed to
Yeah,
do?
30 days, supposed to be done in 30 days.
Yeah, but the difference between Carol's minutes and some of the other committee, she works, she has a lot of information.
They've saved that
together.
Lincoln when,
She really
She's
does.
She's a superstar.
We go back and look at them all the time. Thank
Incredible.
goodness
Yeah.
that she has all the detail she does.
Yeah.
Because she
It's a memory jogger.
answers a lot of questions with those minutes. I mean, I'm talking, we go back years, Carol, right? Yeah. And find stuff. So it's all good.
well, thanks for working and all that.
4 years worth of minutes.
Anybody else?
No, I think,
Somebody's gonna make a motion.
Motion to
oh,
close.
I make a motion to adjourn. Go on.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.